देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु वभद्रेषु नित्यं भावप्रसीदया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. And to do text 4, Canto 2, chapter 4, text 19. स एष आत्मात्मवतम् अधीश्वरः त्रयीमयो धर्ममयस्तपोमयः गताव्यलीकैरजशाङ्करादिभिः वितर्क्यलिङ्गो भगवान् प्रसीदताम् स एष आत्मात्मवतम् अधीश्वरः त्रयीमयो धर्ममयस्तपोमयः तथाव्यलीकैरजशाङ्करादिभिः वितर्क्यलिङ्गो भगवान् प्रसीदताम् स एष आत्मात्मवतम् अधीश्वरः त्रयीमयो धर्ममयस्तपोमयः तथाव्यलीकैरजशाङ्करादिभिः वितर्क्यलिङ्गो भगवान् प्रसीदताम् By those who are above all pretensions. Aja Brahma Shankaradibihi by Lord Shiva and others. Vitarkalingaha, one who is observed with awe and veneration. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. He is the super soul and the Supreme Lord of all self-realized souls. He is the personification of the Vedas, religious scriptures and austerities. He is worshipped by Lord Brahmaji and Lord Brahma and Shiva and all those who are transcendental to all pretensions. Being so revered with awe and reverence, may that Supreme Absolute be pleased with me. But the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, although the Lord of all followers of different paths of self-realization, is knowable only by those who are above all pretensions. Everyone is searching for eternal peace or eternal life, and with an aim of this destination, everyone is either studying the Vedic scriptures or other religious scriptures, or undergoing severe austerities as empiric philosophers, as mystic yogis, or as unalloyed devotees, etc. But the Supreme Lord is perfectly realized only by the devotees, because they are above all pretensions. Those who are on the path of self-realization are generally classified as karmis, jnanis, yogis, or devotees of the Lord. The karmis, who are much attracted by the fruitive activities of the Vedic rituals, are called bhuktikami, or those who desire material enjoyment. The jnanis, who try to become one with the Supreme by mental speculation, are called muktikami, or those who desire liberation from material existence. The mystic yogis, who practice different types of austerities for attainment of 8 kinds of material perfection, and who ultimately meet the super soul Paramatma in trance, are called siddhikami, or those who desire the perfection of becoming finer than the finest, becoming heavier than the heaviest, getting everything desired, having control over everyone, creating everything like, etc. All these are abilities of a powerful yogi, but the devotees of the Lord do not want anything like that for self-satisfaction. They want only to serve the Lord, because the Lord is great, and as living entities, they are eternally subordinate part and parcels of the Lord. This perfect realization of the self by the devotee helps him to become desireless, to desire nothing for his personal self, and thus the devotees are called nishkami, without any desire. A living entity, by his constitutional position, cannot be void of all desires. The bhuktikami, muktikami, and siddhikami all desire something for personal satisfaction. But the nishkami devotees of the Lord desire everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. They are completely dependent on the orders of the Lord and are always ready to discharge their duty for the satisfaction of the Lord. In the beginning, Arjuna placed himself as one of those who desire self-satisfaction, for he desired not to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but to make him desireless. The Lord preached the Bhagavad Gita, in which the ways of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and also Bhakti Yoga are explained. Because Arjuna was without any pretension, he changed his decision and satisfied the Lord by agreeing to fight Karishye Vachanam Tava, and thus he became desireless. The examples of Brahma and Shiva specifically cited here because Brahmaji, Lord Shiva, Srimati Lakshmiji, and the 4 Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatan, etc., are leaders of the 4 desireless Vaishnava Sampradaya. They are all freed from all pretensions. Sri Jiva Goswami interprets the word Gata Gali Kai as Projita Kaitavai, or those who are freed from all pretensions, the unalloyed devotees only. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 19.149, it is said, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakale Shanta. Those who are after fruitive activities for their pious activities, those who desire salvation and identity with the Supreme, and those who desire material perfections of mystic power are all restless because they want something for themselves. But the devotee is completely peaceful because he has no demand for himself. and is always ready to serve the desire of the Lord. The conclusion is, therefore, that the Lord is for everyone, because no one can achieve the result of his respective desires without his sanction. But as stated by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 8.9, all such results are awarded by him only. For the Lord is Adishwara, the original controller of everyone, namely the Vedantis, the great Karmakandiyas, the great religious leaders, the great performers of austerity, and all who are striving for spiritual advancement. But ultimately, he is realized by pretensionless devotees only. Therefore, special stress is given to the devotional service of the Lord by Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Om Dhyanatimirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sadhujata Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namade Gaura Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Adipriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhobhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I usually like to see the blessings of all the devotees. Some senior devotees who are practicing since decades and just serving by sharing what we have heard from us. So requesting your blessing. So I'd like to welcome all the wonderful devotees to the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion on Sunday. So we are reading from the second canto of 4th chapter, text 19. And the translation which we read is, He is the super soul and supreme Lord of all self-realized souls. He is the personification of the Vedas, religious scriptures and austerities. He is worshipped by Lord Brahma and Shiva and all those who are transcendental to all pretensions. Being so revered with awe and veneration, may that supreme absolute be pleased with me. So this verse is spoken by Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So we are seeing the verses, a series of shlokas. We also heard a very nice discussion last week from Abhishek on this. So any activity done by any devotee, they want to see that the Lord is pleased by that activity. Because some siddhir haritoshnam. They want to actually see what is the purpose of all the Vedas. The purpose of all the Vedas is that we never forget Krishna and always remember Krishna. The beauty of this is we can learn the essence of all the Vedas without reading the Vedas. And that is by the mercy of the devotees. In the Vedas, there are 4 Vedas. We know from the Shastras, right? There are 4 Vedas, and which are there? Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. These are 4 Vedas. In total of 1 lakh shlokas. Now if you have to read that, that takes quite a bit of time, right? But the essence of, and even after reading all of that, like once there were some scholars who came to Srila Prabhupada and they had read many shastras. And they came to Srila Prabhupada and they told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Swamiji, you have read so many shastras. And Prabhupada said, can you please tell who is God? He said, oh, that is a very difficult question. It takes so much of time to answer that. Because you read so much and then, how do I tell it in 5 minutes or in 1 minute? Then Prabhupada was in a Gurukul and he called a small boy. And he asked, who is God? Then that small boy said, Prabhupada, Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. Jai Shri Jagannath Balakrishna ki Jai, Gauratai ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai. And the small boy said, Prabhupada, Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. And then Prabhupada gave him a cookie and then sent him. So what people could not get by reading so much of Shastras, by association of a devotee, they got the essence of all the Shastras. So that is the power of association of devotees. We can see, so here, the purpose of all the Vedas is, you don't actually remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And a devotee's goal is he wants to satisfy Krishna. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is trying to actually speak so that in a mood that he wants to please Krishna. So that is a devotee. There was once one devotee. I will tell the story and then you can tell me who is the name of the devotee at the end. So this particular devotee was living in the forest and she was sincerely rendering service to her spiritual master and many others. And these are all menial services. Because being in the body of a woman, she was not able to go and perform the sacrifices and many other things what were allowed for a male body personality. But she was sincerely serving her spiritual master. Daily she will groom the kutir of the spiritual master and the entire place around. They will do a lot of menial service to the Vaishnavas around the area. And after some time, the spiritual master told now is the time for me to depart along with my other disciples. So then he was actually departing from that place. And she said, you are my guru, please at least some spiritual instructions or some way, please benefit me or help me. So then he said, okay, so please continue the spiritual master was very much pleased by her service attitude because daily she was doing menial service without any demands or any complaints as we read in the book. And at the end, the spiritual master told her that you please daily groom this entire place, decorate the place with flowers and many other things. Keep the very delicious fruits ready with you. And one day, because of your this service attitude, Lord Ram will personally visit your place. And so then she continued her service. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It was quite a big area. It was not only of this size. It was a big area. Daily grooming the entire area, decorating with flowers because you don't know which day the Lord comes. So suddenly one day you're not and then the Lord comes in. You have to do it daily with consistency. So then she daily with the utmost enthusiasm, devotion and faith, she was cleaning the entire place and decorating the flowers. 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, or 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades. Continuous service. Vivasatma buddhi ekeha purna. The Guru has told, I will do it. And after so many years, finally one day, Lord Ram along with Lakshman visits that place. And it is very interesting to note that actually this personality would chew the fruits, what she wanted to offer to the Lord, out of utmost devotion. Because in the forest she was not sure whether the fruits would be ripe or unripe. So then she would taste and then keep it so that only the ripe ones is kept. So then she would do that daily. And when Lord Ram came, she actually offered those fruits, juta fruits, in one sense, to the Lord. And the Lord accepted it. And Lakshman is seeing like this. Generally, we don't take anything without offering to the Lord. A devotee of the Lord, initially the sin part comes. Like when new people come, we tell them, okay, actually, if you don't offer to the Lord, you get sin. But eventually, as one progresses in this devotion service, he sees that it's not only the sin part. I don't want to eat without offering to the Lord. He develops a desire that I want to offer to the Lord and then take. So that is eventually. So then that is how a devotee does. But in this case, it's an exception. So these stunts are performed by expert professionals. Please do not imitate. So these are very exalted devotees. We cannot imitate what they are doing, but we can follow in their footsteps in terms of devotion. So this personality, who was she? Shabari. So we learn that the Lord actually accepts the intent of a devotee's service. See, everyone in the entire creation anyone may not know what service one is doing, or some people may know a little bit of what one is doing. But Krishna is the one who is present in each and every atom. He is present everywhere, and he knows each and every service what a devotee is doing. And the beauty of serving Krishna is that it is not that only when offering is done, Krishna accepts the service. For example, if one is making, a devotee is making garland for the pleasure of the Lord, he is making garland, and he is thinking, this garland will be offered to Jagannath, this garland will be offered to Krishna. So that moment, Krishna is accepting that devotee's service, and Krishna is very, very pleased with the devotee's service. It is not that only after offering, only after the Lord is offered the garland is pleased. At that very moment, he is accepting the devotion of the devotee. Whether be it in the one is listening or speaking Bhagavatam, or whether one is cooking for the pleasure of the Lord, or whether one is sweeping the floor for the pleasure of the Lord. It is not that only when I am recognized for service, then only Lord is pleased. Generally in companies or in outside circles, unless you are recognized or unless something is given, then you don't get any. But in devotional service, it is not like that. Any service you do, neha vikramana sosti pratyavayana vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya gayate mahatopaya. So even a little endeavor done on this path is permanent. But of course we don't do little endeavor, we do a lot of endeavor. But the point is that the Lord actually accepts the service of his devotees. He accepts the intention of his devotee's service. So in this regard, we saw about Shabari. So here, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions about different kinds of devotees, which is Bhuktikami, Muktikami, and then Siddhikami, and then a devotee of the Lord. See, a devotee of the Lord is very, very rare. One of the rarest species, you can say. A pure devotee is the rarest species. Because how rare it is to become a pure devotee of the Lord, we know from the Shastras. That's why only by association with devotees, that's why Prabhupada has told that he has created ISKCON so that he can give the greatest gift to humanity. What is the greatest gift? The association of devotees, where people can chant together, read together. That here he says the living entity, by his conscious question, cannot be void of desire. Yeah, we cannot be void of desire. Like if someone tells you, Prabhu, please stop thinking, or Prabhu Ramadaji, please stop thinking now. First thought will come, why should I stop? So just the living entity cannot stay in a neutral position. It actually desires something better or something is degrading. So by default, a Nishkami devotee of the Lord, he desires everything for satisfaction of the Lord. That is a devotee. Tat Sukhitvam Sukhitvam. A devotee sees that when Krishna is pleased, I am pleased. So a devotee is, like you can see in the case of Hanuman, once there were some services being allotted during the pastime of Lord Ram. And in that service allotment, somehow they forgot Hanuman's name in the service allotment. So Hanuman did not think, now I am free, my service, there is not service. He actually thought, service is my life. How my name is not there in that service list. So he actually went and asked the devotees who were allotting seva. Then my name is not there. Sorry, Prabhu, all seva over. Already they were allotted and devotees started doing. Then he thinks, what seva I can do? Then he goes to Lord Ram and he asks, can I do? He finds out. Can I do chutki seva? What is chutki seva? When the Lord yawns, I'll actually do a chutki. That way it's a seva to the Lord. So that was Hanuman. He was still trying to find out how I can serve the Lord. After some time, he saw that the Lord is not yawning. And Lord also saw. Hanuman is eagerly waiting beside me, but then I'm not yawning. So Lord purposely at one point when he yawns. Then Hanuman says, service. Then he actually goes and does the chutki and seva. And Hanuman goes to such a degree that throughout the day he does this whenever Lord yawns. And now he thinks, it's night time. Generally, in the night time, one yawns more, correct? He thinks, now my seva is increased. The peak time of my seva is come. So he actually gets into Lord Ram's inner chamber also. And Lord Ram is saying, his bed is seeing, Hanuman is there. Then Mother Sita comes. So she says, hey, you're here? He said, yeah. Then I want to actually do chutki seva. The next day, seeing his eagerness for service, he was given service the next day. So you can see a devotee of the Lord, he is not happy when no service is given. He sees that any opportunity for service is always a good thing for him. And here in the Parpat, Prabhupada mentions about Arjuna, how he placed himself as one of those who desire service. Initially, Arjuna, while he was fighting the battle, or he just was about to enter the fight, fight was about to start. That time he thought, oh, so many of these personalities are there, and they are worshipable personalities. So I can, and they are my, they are my gurus and Bhishma Pitama and all those things. So then he said, I cannot fight. Sorry, I want to go to the forest. And Krishna says, hey, here, you came till here. It's like, you came till your 12th standard board exam, and then you have prepared everything. Just when you're about to enter your examination hall, you say, sorry, I cannot do it. So they say, what happened? You came till this point. Similarly, Arjuna came till the battlefield, everything was done, the armies were assembled, and that time he says, no, I cannot fight. And that's when Krishna gave the first or the best motivational speech of the creation, which is the Bhagavad Gita. And after that, Arjuna was enthused to fight. So initially, Arjuna was thinking about his own self-satisfaction, and eventually thought, okay, if this is what pleases Krishna, then I will do it. Karishye Vachanam Tava. Once one devotee was asking, at the end, Krishna asked Arjuna, correct? That what do you want to do? That time, what does Arjuna say? Karishye Vachanam Tava. Like, Then one devotee asked one Prabhupada disciple, what if Arjuna had told, I don't want to fight? In this case, he told, I will fight. What if he had told, I don't want to fight? Then what would Krishna do in that situation? Very interesting question, correct? So then the Prabhupada disciple told that actually, then Krishna would again speak the Bhagavad Gita. Because he has to understand that it is important for him to do it. So that is what we can see here. The devotee of the Lord is always very grateful. See, a devotee of the Lord is grateful in every circumstance. I would like to narrate a very nice pastime from one of the very prominent disciples of, no, he was not prominent actually, he was a disciple of a very prominent Srila Prabhupada disciple. All of us know his name is Bhakti Swami Maharaj, it's a wonderful personality. So he had one disciple, his name was Kuvera. Now it is interesting, or it is very sad to note that Kuvera had one disease. You know what the disease? It's called ALS. It's a lucratus disease. Means in that disease what happens? The inside parts of your body start melting away. And till date there is no cure for that disease. Once you get it, you eventually over a period of a couple of years, you actually die. One lose control of his arms, the legs don't function, many other things happen in that time. So the doctors are told that you will not live for more than 2 years. Like that, they are told whom? Kuvera Prabhu. So this Kuvera Prabhu, he was told that. But one amazing thing he used to do, every Saturday morning, he will without fail come to the temple of the Lord. It was very difficult for him. He used to stay far from the temple. So since we know he had this disease, he could not even walk properly. So early morning he will catch a bus and try to come to the Mangala Aarti, the chanting and the Bhagavatam class. His faith and enthusiasm to serve the Lord is something very interesting to note. He was a very simple devotee. Not many people even knew him. Even now many devotees don't know him. But he never complained about even one thing in his life. He had 100 reasons to complain. Once he was in the morning climbing the bus, and that time he was sitting near the bus because he could not go inside. We know that he had this disease. That time, while another person was getting down, he pushed him. And this Prabhu fell, and he was in that fallen situation. He could not even get up. But somehow he felt something, got up, and crawling he reached the temple. And he heard that, and he was always smiling. See, he had 100 reasons not to smile. But he was always very, very interesting because he had one wealth in his heart. You know what is the greatest wealth? It is not dollar notes. It is actually, he had the real wealth of the heart, which is the gratitude and devotion to Krishna and the devotees. If we have this one thing in our life, everything else will be taken care. You see, so all around one may have the dollar notes, but still he may not necessarily be happy. But a devotee who has this real wealth of gratitude, you can see that he is always very happy. Like Srila Prabhupada, he never complained. Like once Bhakti Swadhava Maharaj, who was there, and he was standing outside Prabhupada's room for quite some time. And he saw one by one the GBCs coming, the temple presidents coming, so many devotees coming, asking him so many questions, so many problems. And this Maharaj also wanted to ask some questions, and then he also wanted to tell some problems of his. And he saw Prabhupada addressing problem after problem after problem, and he's solving devotee issue after issue. And he goes on Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you are not bogged up with so many issues. You know, at all that you do your translation seva also, and then you do write letters also, and then you do so much service. You don't get trouble when so many people give you so many problems, or bring so many problems to you to solve. And Prabhupada said, I don't see them as problems. I see them as service to my Guru Maharaj. So that was Prabhupada's point, that he would always see any problem as how can I be of service to my spiritual master? In this situation, how can I serve my spiritual master? That's what Prabhupada would say. So even Kuvera Prabhu, he would see that in life, how I can be happy and serve in that particular situation. So on his birthday, the hall was completely full. 1/3 were Christians, 1/3 Muslims, and 1/3 Hindus assembled there. It was kind of a mini gas puja kind of a thing, you know. So it was his birthday, and there were people of different, consciousness, be it elevated souls or from a most degraded till a prostitute. Everyone was assembled in that hall, and each one of them had a lot of love for each other. Why? Because they actually really genuinely liked this Kuvera Prabhu. Because of their genuine love for Kuvera Prabhu, they were able to have good unity even amongst themselves. What even United Nations struggles to bring, this one Prabhu who had this real wealth was able to bring all of them together. The prostitute came on stage and told, I was a prostitute. So many people saw faults in me. But Kuvera, he tried to always encourage me. And because of that encouragement, I have given up the profession, and now I'm happy still. So this was Kuvera Prabhu. Because of that smile, he genuinely tried to see good in others. That is a devotee. He sees, okay, if I can see good in the other devotee, then Krishna will be pleased. Kale dosha nide rajan, asti eko mahan guna. There are like Kale dosha. Kali Yuga is filled with faults. If I go into ocean and say, I take one drop, salt water. What's so great about it? So similarly, finding faults in Kali Yuga, what's so great about it? But if we are able to see good in others, that is what will please Krishna. That's why Jagannath has very big eyes. You see, Jagannath has very big eyes because he sees only good in his devotees. And on the other hand, when he sees bad in his devotees, he closes eyes. Which pastime is that? In Pudana pastime, if remember, when he saw Pudana, he closed his eyes. And the Acharyas give so many reasons why Krishna closed his eyes for Pudana. One of the reasons is mentioned that Krishna didn't want to see bad. He saw, first of all, she's a woman. I don't want to. My first shot only, when it was first demon whom Krishna was going to liberate. So he thought, first only, generally, we don't, as a Krishna thought, I'm coming as a male body, I don't actually generally, kill a woman. But first only I had to kill a woman. Then he closed eyes. Second reason they say that, because she was very attractive looking from outside, but she had evil intentions. The pretension, what is being discussed in this verse, she had very evil intention, but she pretended to be very attractive externally. So then Krishna thought, I don't want to see such a person who is externally like this and internally very bad. And one more reason, the Acharya has mentioned that when Krishna closed his eyes, he saw who was this Putana in her previous life. Who was she? She was Bali Maharaj's sister. So Bali Maharaj, when he saw Vamandev is pretty attractive, source of all and supreme person of God, and he comes as a young Brahmana, he's very attractive. So when Bali Maharaj's sister saw this young Brahmana, she said, oh, such a beautiful child. If only I could be the mother of this child. Like that she decided. Desire number one. Secondly, when Vamandev gave the third step on the head of Bali Maharaj, and then she decided, oh, he's a cruel person. I want to kill him. Desire number 2. So both of these desires she was able to endeavor to give shape to these desires in the body of Putana. So then Krishna remembered, and Krishna also remembered in whose lineage she comes. Bali Maharaj, lineage of Prahlad Maharaj, all very wonderful devotees. So she also gets to get some mercy. Then the Lord actually, there's various reasons for that, but the point we're trying to make is that the Lord only sees good in his devotees. So the reason what we're trying to make is that the Lord did not want to see the bad qualities of Putana, so he closed his eyes. So here also, Jagannath actually wants to see the good in his devotees. So similarly, if we see good in his devotees, then Krishna also is pleased with what we see. And so this Kuvera Prabhu, he never complained about anything. So because he was always very, very happy, and devotees around him, they felt that he is one of the most sincere devotee. And when you see a devotee very happy in his devotional service, he's smiling. How many of us feel very happy? Just by seeing another devotee. Forget about talking to him, just by seeing him, this devotee is so happy in his devotional service, correct? That itself brings enthusiasm in our spiritual life. Similarly, if we are, when people used to see Kuvera Prabhu, they used to be very happy. Although physically he is like that, but he was so happy in his spiritual life. Like we had gone to Mayapur, and one devotee, new devotee had just come up, and he asked Jantal Maharaj, Maharaj, you have so many physical problems, you are suffering so much. Like that he asked, in that so many things. So why Krishna is doing this to you? Like that he asked. And then Maharaj actually replied, suffering. Actually, I am very happy in Krishna consciousness. And he actually started singing a song, Anande Simanai, there was a song. He actually started singing a song. He's like, I am experiencing so much of happiness in Krishna consciousness. I only pray that you get a drop of happiness. What I am experiencing. So that is a pure devotee of the Lord. The body may actually be in whatever condition, but the soul is ecstatic. Because the soul is in connection with the Lord, with the gratitude of what he has for his Guru and for Krishna. And so this is what I can see in that. So coming back to our purport here, Jiva Goswami mentions this. And Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ateva Shant, Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakale Ashant. Yeah, they say Krishna Das, Bindas, Maya Das, Sadao Das. So we can see that anyone who is a servant of Maya, initially he thinks that he is very happy, but Maya only gives titillating happiness. It's like we were hearing one lecture yesterday telling that if you are in a desert and you're very, very thirsty, and then from a helicopter one guy comes, and then a big distillery bottle photo is, I mean, like there's a kind of a logo on the helicopter, and he's moving around you, and then your head also is moving, water. Then he comes down, and when he comes down, he opens the bottle. Then you think only one bottle he has got. I want at least 10-15 bottles, I'll accumulate it. I'm very thirsty. And then he takes out one bottle. And then that bottle also is only so much of water is in it. And he opens up. And then you are, please give. I think he's one drop. Take it. You take it. Now then, one more. Says, get lost. And then he goes back. And that is Maya's attack. Very, very minimalistic pleasure. But on the other hand, spiritual life, Rajavidya Rajaguyam, Pavitra Vinamuttam, Pratyakshavam Dharmyam, Susukham Kartamam. At every moment, one can actually experience pleasure, spiritual pleasure or happiness when one is connected to Krishna. That is what we can see. But in spiritual life, Mahaprabhu took two things from each of these sampradayas and he gave the best thing to us. You see, each prominent acharyas, who are the four prominent acharyas of each sampradaya? Like for Lakshmi Sampradaya, or it is Ramanacharya or Shiva Sampradaya. And for Brahma Sampradaya, it is Madhvacharya. For Rudra Sampradaya, it is Vishnu Swami. And for Kumara Sampradaya, it is Nimbarka Swami. Each of these four personalities appear in Chaitanya Leela. You know that? And I was very fascinated to hear when I heard it for the first time. So, Ramanacharya, who preached, it is very interesting to note the philosophies. It is a completely oceanic subject matter, but just to summarize in 30 seconds. Initially, this is a Vedic path of line, and then because people in the name of the Vedas, especially the Brahmanas, were misinterpreting the Vedas, and they, in the name of the Vedas, were eating animals, or performing animal sacrifices. So then Buddha came and he says, don't follow the Vedas. So then you get a trapezium here. This is the original line, and then you draw one line here off the Vedic track here. So Buddha says, don't follow Vedas. Then Shankaracharya says, okay, and Buddha says, that you don't need to follow, just, one. So he says, wild, everything is wild. That's what Buddha preached. And then Shankaracharya came. He drew, it's like a parallel line to this line. Yeah? He says, God is there, God is one, and you are one. That is the philosophy what he preached. And later, Ramanacharya came, and he preached philosophy of Vishishtadvaita. This is one or two? From this angle it is one, but this is two. Right? They say, yeah, God and you are different. Yeah? And then Madhvacharya came. Dvaita. Dvaita. Two. God and you are different. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, no, it's too different. You are different, Jiva is different, and you are same quality, which is Satchidananda, but you are different in quantity. So both are different. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made a very good. So this is just these systems in a little brief. So when Ramanujacharya, he came in Gaurila as Ananta. This Ananta lived near Vallabhacharya's home. So what are the two principles what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took from Lakshmi Sampradaya or Sampradaya Ramacharya? Two. First one is the concept of unalloyed devotion, free from karma and jnana, ananya bhakti. First thing. Second thing is Vaishnava seva, service to the devotees. It's very prominently, there's a fantastic video also, you can watch it. It's in YouTube. If you type Kali Dvamsa, there's a video on that. It's very famous. So how the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, there was one personality who initially wanted to marry one Mataji. But then that Mataji happened to be a Vaishnavi, so then she told him that if you have to marry me, then the condition is that daily you will have to serve. This was a dacoit king, So he was dacoit, not king, he was dacoit. And he wanted to marry one Mataji. And then this Mataji told him, you have to become a Vaishnava if you have to marry me. Then he said, Vaishnava? How do you become a Vaishnava? She put conditions. First thing is, you should daily bring 1,000 devotees to your place. Okay. What next? Wash their feet. Okay. Drink their charanamrit. Okay. And serve them sumptuously. And for how long should I do this? For 1 year you do this. That was a condition put by that Mataji to marry. And then he said, okay, done. Then for 1 year he was doing this. What he was doing? Daily, he was initially catching and bringing the Vaishnava. It was very nicely shown in the drama, you can watch it. So then after he actually caught all the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas were wondering, he's washing the feet. Generally, they wash the animal before cutting it. So they were thinking that he's washing our feet, he will actually cut because he was a dacoit. But then he said, no, I want to wash it, drink the charanamrit. They were shocked. And by doing this consistent Vaishnava seva, over a period of time, he developed so many Vaishnava qualities that he forgot about that Mataji. And he continued his Vaishnava seva. And later, at one point in time, he did not have Lakshmi also for money for serving the Vaishnavas, because daily he has to serve 1,000 devotees, a feast. It is not so easy. So then, he ran out of money over a period of time. It's a very big past, I'm just cutting it short. So at one point he ran out of money. So then he thought, he actually looted the king's treasury to serve the Vaishnavas. And the king came to know. Then the king told him, I will not do this. Then later the Lord in his dream comes and tells him that there is a treasury in this place. And one more time, the Lord is himself coming along with Lakshmi ji in another form. And then the dacoit friends of his tell him, I think let us do one last duty. There is so much of bullock carts loaded with gold coming. If we just loot this one last booty, our full life we can serve the Vaishnavas. No more worry of Lakshmi. He said, really? Let's do it. Let's steal for the Vaishnavas. So then they thought, and they actually came to steal. And they said there are no soldiers only guarding. Generally, in the Vedic time, when they are taking a lot of valuable things, you have soldiers guarding all around. And in this case, there were no soldiers only. And he was thinking, why? No soldiers, only two couples. One couple who was there. And he actually surrounded him and said, I want all your gold and other things. And at one point in time, he told the Mataji also who was there, in the couple, that I want all jewelry on your body also. So then the other people tried to open the Nupur, which is the feet. That Mataji was actually Lakshmi. But they tried to open the Nupur, and that's not coming on me. And finally, he says, all of you are not used it. I will go. He had the strength to defeat the entire army alone. That was his prowess. So he, with that strength, tried to take out the Nupur of Lakshmi ji. And when he was doing that, he actually put his head and the dust from the lotus feet of Lakshmi ji fell on his head. That's when the Lakshmi Sampradaya started. That was the beginning. That was one of the beginning. So coming back to the point that the service to Vaishnava. So then, in this case, the Lord was telling that, hey, you are looting me and my property. You go to hell. He said, I'm ready to go to hell, but I want to serve the Vaishnavas. Then the Lord is so pleased, my God, to serve my Vaishnavas, you are ready to loot me also. That he was actually shocked, and he got the mercy letter. He became a very great Acharya in the future. But the point is that how Vaishnava Seva is something very important. These two principles of Vaishnava Seva and Ananya Bhakti were taken from Sri Sampradaya. And from Madhva Sampradaya, so in Madhvacharya, he came in as Murari Gupta in the Gaudrila. Right? So you had exclusive devotion. So from Madhva Sampradaya or from Brahma Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took two principles. What are the principles? Kevala Advaita Nirasham means complete defeat of the Mayavada philosophy. First thing. Second thing is worship of the deities. So deity worship is from prominently Chaitanya Mahaprabhu get from this Sampradaya. So these two. And lastly, last but one, from Rudra Sampradaya. So this Vishnu Swami was later in Gaudaya. Who was he? Vallabhacharya. Vishnu Swami came as Vallabhacharya, and he from Rudra Sampradaya two principles were taken, which is sentiment of total dependence on Krishna. That is Sarvasya Bhava, is like dependence on Krishna. And second thing is Ragamara, the part of spontaneous devotional service was taken from there. And lastly, from Kumara Sampradaya, who was Nimbarka Swami was a prominent acharya. Nimbarka Swami came in his Gaurlila as Keshav Kashmiri. So when we all know the past time of that. So from the Kumar Sampradaya, two principles were taken. What are two principles? Exclusive shelter of Radhika. The first thing, Radharani. And second thing is exalted mood of Gopis' love for Krishna. So these are the two things. So like this, basically from the four Sampradayas, two principles are taken, and the best thing is given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is what we can learn from this puppet. So that is. And how do we know that someone has got the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord? Sometimes we will say, no, this devotee has got dust from the lotus feet of the Lord. Or something like that. Three things we can know. It's called DAS, Das. What is that? D for detachment from matter. A is attachment to Krishna. And S is service attitude. We can see that these three things are manifest in the person who has got the mercy of the Lord. So that's why if in our life, if we endeavor to get the mercy of the Lord, then, and we try to sincerely please Krishna in our life, then by service to the devotees, service to Guru, doing every service whatever we are doing in the mood of pleasing Krishna, then Krishna will be very pleased. So I think with this I will stop here. I would like to just tell one last thing on how Krishna is the person who is worthy to take shelter. If we see in this world, there are many, Krishna is the best leader amongst everyone. You know that. Like how even in when Arjuna was bewildered, I was saying that Krishna helped him. Yeah? Krishna was the greatest teacher. What knowledge he has given in Bhagavad Gita, he did not come back and say, sorry, there's small edit in this. No. Whatever is given is actually fixed from time immemorial. And he is the best disciple and servant of his Guru. Krishna, although he is supreme person of God, when he came to this world, he took the role of disciple, to show us how important it is that we also should learn. So Krishna is the best joy-giving son also. He gave the best joy to his mother. So Krishna is the most brilliant student. They would say that they learn 64 kalas. So he would learn in one day only one thing. So he was the fastest student. And Krishna is the best friend of everyone. See, he may forget what service we have done, but Krishna never forgets. And he is the best master of the Pandavas. Whenever Pandavas got a problem, they always called out for Krishna. And even if a devotee does not call out, the Lord understands and he helps. He is the best reciprocator, best king of Dwarka. He is the best worshipper of his devotees. See, he also, when Sudama came, he washed the feet of Sudama. That is, we can see that he is such a fantastic personality. He is the best protector also. We can see when the 60,108 queens were 6,100 queens were actually stolen by one of the demons. He was the one who protected them, and he gave them each one palace. He did not put them in a dormitory. He actually gave them each one palace and took care of them very nicely. So he respected them. You can see that he is the best husband amongst. He kept them all happy. That is Krishna. So we can see that Krishna is the person who is worthy to take shelter of. And despite all of these qualities, he is utterly humble. Although he is supreme person of God. That's why he is the person who is worth taking shelter of and satisfying. So with this, we can stop here. If you have one question, you can take it. We will. Okay, so we don't have any questions. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna, this time for being a privilege to time and giving this
this nice presentation, this request of Bhagavatam. But loudly chanting